listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's The Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. We are the hottest talk in the 219. We are the talk of the 219. And Jay, we've got to talk about a really hot issue. I mean, it is so hot. It's the hottest thing that's out there.
I don't want to talk about this. Well, I don't even know what it is, but I don't want to talk about it.
How do you not want to talk about it and you don't even know what it is?
All right, so what's the subject matter?
All right, so the Chicago Bears are going to face a schedule next season where they have a 17th game.
Oh, so we got an extra, oh, what are they doing game? We can just sit, I gotta order extra chicken wings so I can just sit there and go, I can just do that?
Yeah, well, the Bears are going to play the AFC North and the NFC West next season. So let's hear this roster, which includes home games against the Cardinals, Ravens, Bengals, the 49ers, and away games against Seattle, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and the Rams.
Oh, that's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
See, here's the problem. The Bears finagled their way into the playoffs, and I think they finished, second in NFC North or something like that. And now they're going to be playing a top schedule.
Yeah, because they're also going to slide in, since they were so great and they came in second place in the NFC North, they're going to have to play the top two teams in the NFC East, which are the Giants and the Buccaneers.
Oh. This is not, and the Bears were yapping about beating the Buccaneers. Like, look at us. We beat the Buccaneers. We're a playoff team. And, look at us. We're, and I'm like, going,
There's a lot of talk.
Hold on there, homie. Those guys died. The Buccaneers they were still putting tape on their helmet. They didn't even know each other's name.
Look, man, and if it hadn't been for Tom Brady for getting a down,
now
you probably would have lost that game.
Now you got all 22 of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who started in the championship game. All of them are back.
Well, here's the great thing. The Bears cannot finish 500 this year.
Oh, no.
Can't. Mathematically can't. So either you're going to be above 500 or below 500, and whichever way it goes, that's who you are. That's exactly who you are. Yeah. And we'll see it this year. The Bears have made a lot of moves, and they've made moves like a team where ownership isn't concerned and management isn't concerned. They made moves like they're going to be there for a while. They've hired all new staff. If you're going to clean house, I would think that the time when you lose all of your assistants would be the time to clean staff.
No. I mean,
they added staff.
You saw their assistants start bailing out of there. You saw them start going because they started reading the tea leaves on the wall, talking about, Matt Nagy looks like he's going to be on the fence. And then all of a sudden, one of his good old pal, Ryan Pace, rode in on, I don't know if it was a white horse, but he rode in on some form of a horse. It probably was a donkey. And rode in and said, I'm going to save the day because that's my guy right there. And I think he used to actually coach on the same team that Patrick Mahomes is playing on now. That's good enough. Come on down.
For some reason in my head, now I can't get it out of my head with you saying it. Because if you want to ride...
Don't ride the white horse.
Oh, you think that's what he was playing all the way to the stadium?
Oh, dude. Come on now. White horse. Just jamming. That used to be the jam back in the day, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, can you imagine just rolling in talking about, I ain't going to lose my job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can imagine him. I'm
getting Andy Dalton.
So guess what, man? I'm going to have a job again. Oh, it's going to be great. I'm just going to work forever.
Hi, honey. How are you? Yeah, I still got a job. Come on. Eddie bringing all his boys in. Hey, man, I got him. We come up and get some of this NFL money. Come on down. He bringing in all his homeboys.
I mean, okay, man.
Yeah. No, it's ugly.
You really can't get mad with Ryan Pace because he's found a formula.
A formula for?
Remember the old folks used to say, and I had aunts and they always would say it, You see a fool, you bump his head.
Well,
Well, when you find somebody who's going to just let you do you, and no one cares about the consequences or the results of you doing you, okay. So if you're going to let me keep doing the same thing, the Bears are going to run the same program they've been running, because now we see that's Ryan Pace's only game plan.
right. It's
You're going to trade, waste money. If you could just, all right, let's just put into a little bubble, Jay. How much money has Ryan Pace cost the Bears with bad drafts, with poor signings, with massive cuts? I mean, come on, baby.
Yeah,
just
ridiculous.
think about how much money. And we're talking close to 7 figures that I can think of in my head.
Yeah.
Maybe closer to 8 figures he's cost the Bears.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The problem is that you have an upper management that doesn't know football. Just because you own a football team doesn't mean that you know football, that you've been well immersed in football, that you were actually been on the sidelines before. And so you just have upper management who has used the Bears as a bell cow for their financial investments. And to tell you the honest truth, you wonder just how much truly invested they are into the team's success. Because it seems to me there's a lot to do with making sure we stay in the black.
Well, if you don't have to worry about ever going in the red and everything is based around it, the only problem I see for the Bears in the not so near future, but in the future, is going to be at some point you're going to lose McCaskies.
How?
There's going to be a time where there's no more Virginia. There's no more Michael McCaskey. And now if you don't have children who are coming in, now we can say, yeah, they'll follow the path. You can say that with a little Michael Reinsdorf, and you can say that with some other things. But if you don't know what you're doing now, and you have a generation, and you know these young people are a little bit different. They fly a little bit different. So you get somebody who's like, yeah, I don't even care about that team, because they've never had to care about money before.
Yeah.
So why would they care about going out working and making it work? Until you find a McCaskey who says, we need to make this work to preserve a legacy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Other than that, you're going to get a lot of cats doing the same thing. You heard about what's going on in Cleveland right now. So the ownership has put his son in direct line to be the next president of basketball operations, president of the club. And when you talk about nepotism, it sounds great and it's a good thing financially for the family, but it's a terrible thing for fans and for those who watch and follow the team, because you have the same thing that you're watching with the Cubs. You see some young people who the father said, this is what you want to do, I'll buy you a team.
Right.
Go out, run it, see how you can do. And to their credit, they were able to sneak in the back door, got a championship, and now looks like it's going to be another 100 years before they get close again.
Well, and that's true. And but you also look, it all depends how bought in that young person is. You look at Rocky Wirtz with the Blackhawks. You know, the Blackhawks were bottom feeding for a long time. They were not they're not broadcasting their games on regular television, types of stuff.
That was old man Wirtz.
Yeah.
Now, you have to say that was on him. He was the one who blocked them moving to national televised games. He was the one who said, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to do that for the fans. Forget them. And now you look around, the NHL now has a new contract with ESPN for next season.
Yep. And you saw Rocky, his son, come in there, get all that squared away, start bringing in the players, start bringing in the revenue, and they brought a championship back to Chicago. And you looked at that Blackhawks team, you thought that thing, they were going to win 3, 4, or 5 championships, but it just didn't work out that way. Same way you looked at the Cubs. Who thought the Cubs were just going to fall apart? They were only going to get 1 championship out of that thing.
Yeah. What's funny with the Cubs is, even though you thought there were going to be multiple ones, kind of like with the Bears, it was the succession and the regression was so quick.
Yeah.
From that 85 Bears to the 88 Bears. So you go the 86, 87, and 88. 88 was the last time you really thought maybe the Bears would make a push, and then it just all fell apart.
Well, the Bears are using the same construct that they have right now. that they had a great defense and they had a quarterback that was just managing games for you.
But it was serviceable.
That was serviceable because that's what he was. He wasn't a great quarterback. He was serviceable. The punky QB, he wasn't going to make a lot of mistakes, but he wasn't going to win a lot of games for you. But he didn't need to win a lot of games for you. Plus, they were running that Buddy Ryan 4-6 that nobody had figured it out how to defend that thing yet. So it was a whole new wrinkle coming in. It's almost like when the RPOs first start coming out in the NFL, and even though you had seen it in college, you really hadn't seen it at the NFL later. But that 4-6, you had never seen it before. They weren't sure. Now, 3 years after that, you start running that 4-6, and teams start lighting you up because they knew how to defeat it. So it's the same thing with the Bears right now. You had that great defense, and I'm gonna say that great defense back in 2018 when Khalil Mack got here, and you had Kyle Fuller just coming into his own, and you had the big hitters out there, and you had Akeem Hicks just terrorizing. That was a great defense that could have been on par with the best defense that we've seen out there with the McMichaels and different players like that, with the Singletaries. Right. However, the offense just did not hold up on their part, and after a while, that defense got long in the tooth, and we see where we're at right now. But
well, you have they lost their window of opportunity.
Oh, it's over
that
with.
Window of opportunity for them. They were one of those if they were going to make a move, you're going to win a championship. It was that year.
Yeah, and the thing about it now you have an extra window, a 17th game, to really show how bad you really are.
Right. So not only are you going to be terrible, now you get to add another game on it to show you how bad you are.
It's just, and look, this thing don't get no. You got the Cardinals at home right from the beginning. So you got the young QB that you're going to have to deal with right from the beginning. And this defense, I don't know how they're going to hold up against a guy who's moving around like this. And if they got to play 70 snaps, it's going to be over with.
And if you got to put Danny Trevathan out there and he's got to cover linebacker, running backs on swings and coming out the backfield, it's a wrap. Right. If you put him on a tight end, it's a wrap. Coming on a drag or any kind of fade. The Bears, Ryan Pace has screwed this up. And it's funny, I've listened to a lot of national media. And they'll say, oh, well, he's done a bad job. But I really can't say he's really bad. I was listening to Michael Jeremiah said, I was like, dude, stop.
First, you got two first names, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, you can't. I don't trust a man with two first names. Yeah. But he's done a terrible job. And no one will say it's like the Emperor's New Clothes. No one will just say he's butt naked running down the street in some pajamas. Ryan Pace has set this organization back, if not 10 years, maybe 20, because it's going to take another 20 before they get good again, should they get good again.
I believe the Bears are going to be a lot like some of these other teams out here. You might have another 50-year window before the Bears are good again. The NFL might not even be there again.
The sad part is you talk about it, we talk about it and laugh. The Bears have become the Detroit Lions.
Oh.
And it's a big market, big city with a really little team because of mismanagement and because of poor ownership.
And a rabid fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And those and the Bears beloved are going to come out and they're going to support the Bears. They're going to come out there with the little dickas and they're going to come out there. The super fans are going to come out there because that's what they do. And the Bears are going to sneak up the joint because right after Mr. Murray comes here running around, now you got to chase around Lamar Jackson right after that with their second game at home. So now I got them going 0-2.
Mm-hmm. I do believe in the Lovie Smith theory of how you win games, and I think they're going to lose that first quarter of games. They could possibly be 3-0. By the time that fourth game rolls around.
Yeah, because you got the Giants, and I don't think they're going to be better than the Giants. Then you got the 49ers.
Or on par with the Giants.
Right, and then you got the 49ers after that. So, and then we got to see who's going to be the 49ers quarterback.
Well, I got a quick question for you. I know we're getting ready to close, but we talked about Mitchell Trubisky in our last segment.
Yeah.
So with all these middling quarterbacks, the ones who are in the middle of the road, the Jimmy G's, the Giants quarterback, some of these other guys that are not in the upper echelon. Are they any better? When I look at Jimmy Garoppolo, am I saying he's markedly better than Mitchell Trubisky?
Let's say his pedigree is better because he was up in New England. He was supposed to be the heir apparent. And for some reason, somehow, some way, the Patriots decided that he wasn't going to be. And then you saw him go out there, injure his knee. And then after that, he really hasn't been the Jimmy G that we thought he was going to be. I'm surprised. I was sort of surprised when New England didn't lock him down up there. But maybe they saw something that they knew he was long-term wise. He was a great backup, but he wasn't going to be the guy to lead them to the promised land. Who's going to lead that team up there? I don't know. I think all those middle-tier teams, those middle-tier quarterbacks, a lot of it has to do of them being in the right system. A lot of it has to be with that because the great quarterbacks, the Aaron Rodgers of the world, those guys, they make it work because they know how to put their teams in the right position. They know how to call. They know how to call plays. They know how to make adjustments. There's not a defense that they haven't seen or variation of it that they can't figure out pre-snap. So now you're asking these young guys to read on the fly, to read all these different coverages, and these guys get so much thrown at them that they don't know how to counter it. The one thing that makes Aaron Rodgers and all these guys, the Peyton Mannings and all these guys great, because they could see what the defense was getting ready to do, and all of a sudden they did a check, and that was the one thing that defense was not designed for. And you saw that middle linebacker and that strong safety or that free safety all of a sudden start having to make checks then to cover up the check that Peyton Manning just threw. You know, that's also, you heard that Omaha. A lot of that was, hey, we're killing that. We're going to the play that I called. Because I knew when I walked in here, I said, okay, they're going to be in this. It's what I thought they were going to be in. They made this switch. Now we're going to run that second play that I called in the huddle because I know that's the counter to the first play. So if they try to do something we're going to counter and go the other way. It's the same thing. These guys are great quarterbacks because they can figure out, they can play chess. Now you're looking at the Mitchell Trubiskys of the world and all the other guys, the Jimmy G's and all that. They have not been behind center long enough, playing in games long enough to be able to compete in these chess matches. And here's the thing about it. They might not never be able to compete in these chess matches. Maybe it is just the top 5, 6, 7 guys out here who can actually read defenses on the fly, know where the ball is going to be, and then have the ability to put the ball there. And that's the reason why these top 6, 7 quarterbacks out here are the top guys, because they can make it happen when nobody else can.
And you know who else can make it happen? And it's the Sizzle, J Sizzle, G Sizzle, making it happen, baby. Every time you need that information in the pinch, in the crunch, we bring it through and we bring it to you so that you know that the Sizzle is the place where you go for all of your hot talk, especially when it comes to Bears, Cubs, White Sox, Bulls, Blackhawks, the sun, the sky.
The sky, the moon.
Everywhere we're there.
Come on, Candace Parker. We need a championship. Oh, too early?
No, it's never too early for Candace Parker. Anytime. Is it right time for Candace?
Is that the B-side? Is that the B-side of that song? I was just wondering.
Yeah. That when Surface wrote it, they knew that they were going to sing it.
In my system, I just want you to know that. Oh, that's what G Sizzle be singing. You're in my system.
Yeah, well, okay, maybe you did. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All that matters is right now that you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. And if you can't find us, make sure that you find us at hashtag IronSkilletSports. And you can also find us at hashtag IronSports219. That's where you can always find information, the hottest information, the talk of the 219. We are the Sizzle, and we will see you on the other side.